Okay, so in our next step, what we're going to do is actually create the student data util. Remember, this is our helper class that will allow us to access the model. So what I'll do here is I'll just move over to this package, MVC2, and I'll right click and I'm going to create a new class. So right click, say new class. And for the class name, we'll call it student data util. And I'll keep all the other defaults here and I'll go ahead and select the finish button. All right, great. So this is my student data util. And again, this is basically our model. So this will basically return a list of student objects when the servlet calls it. So this will actually be called by the servlet. I'll set up this method here. Public static list student, get students. So the method is get students. It's going to return a list of students. And I simply fix the imports here for that list object from java.util. Okay, so here's my method. Now let me go ahead and just kind of write some comments here as far as what I need to do for the real coding here. So the first thing is creating an empty list. The next thing is adding sample data. And then I need to return that list to the calling program. So that's the basic game plan here for the implementation of this get students method. All right, so let's write some code. So the first thing I need to do is create an empty list. So I'll create a list of students and I'll just say new array list and then just open paren, close paren. And again, I need to go through and fix the imports here so I can import that java.util.arraylist class. All right, cool. So I have those two imports there at the top. Great. The next step here is adding sample data. So I just make use of that array list students and I say students.add. And now what I need to do is actually create a new student object here. So I need to use that constructor that we created in the previous video. So I'll say new student and I'll just pass in the values there for the student. So the first student here is Mary Public and her email address is mary@lovetocode.com. So that's our first student that we've added to the list. Let me get some white space here and I'm just going to copy and paste line 14 a couple of times for the other students. So I'll just copy this line and then I'll just paste it X number of times. So I think I'll do it like 2 more times. Yeah, that's good. And I'll just change the first name and last name here for some of the other students. So we have John Doe. And then we also have AJ Rao. All right, so that looks good right now. So we basically added 3 students here to our array list. Good. So we have some data here right now. So this is really good. Now what I want to do is simply return this list to the calling program. So I simply use a return and I give a reference to that array list. And that's it. And I can save it. And I think I'm in good shape here. So again, this is simply our helper class, our model. That'll actually be called by our servlet. So we simply create some student objects and then we return that list of student objects to the calling program. Okay, good job so far.